So the Discovery Farms program got started, I'd say probably about 15 years ago in Wisconsin. And we went up there independently to review the program. After it had been going for 5 years, Mike and I thought that this would be a good program for Arkansas. So we worked with Farm Bureau to take a group of farmers and leaders in Farm Bureau to go up there and talk to their discovery farmers and see what was going on up there. And so one of the real reasons behind the Discovery Farm program is it's a on-farm program, and it's really led by farmers for the farmers. But today we're going to focus on the Marley farm. And what we tend to do is we would go to the farmer, talk with him, find out what he wants to know more about. The Marley farm is split between woodland and pastures, where he grazes about 300 head of cattle. And he has 10 poultry houses that have at any one time 230,000 broilers.
Hi, I'm Jeff Marley. I'm a poultry and cattle producer here in northwest Arkansas. One of the biggest challenges that we're facing and the pressures we feel is the nutrient containment from our operation. This has gotten a lot of attention in the past. We're in a nutrient surplus area, but I've used the Discovery Farm and their assistance in finding the details of where our nutrient losses are and how we get to manage to keep the nutrients on the farm and not having any surplus get off the farm. We've got abilities to test it and then to see what it is, where it is, and then to try to make sure that we don't become one of those individuals or one of those operational sites to say, hey, we've got an overload here and this is excess, and what are we going to do with it? That's the biggest challenge that we're starting to feel we're faced with, we're being challenged with, and that I spend most of my time now managing my nutrient management program more than actually managing my livestock operation. We work in conjunction with the Corps of Engineers and other, the Forest Service, Game and Fish, and all the other entities that out there, and then there's several other conservation groups that function in our area where we're all very compatible and we all work together. We're all partners, and so we get groups together. We put together informative meetings, whether it's on their forest lands, their pasture lands, and in two particular cases, what we've been instrumental on is like in this farm ground that you might see over my shoulder, there is aerators. We've got one of those that we will provide for individuals to aerate their soil with. What that does is, and most of that's going to be close to river bottoms, close to watersheds, that will let a rapid influx of water into the soil instead of running off. So whatever gathers on top all of a sudden gets into the ground and it gets held. That's one of the main practices that we have facilitated, and we've got the machine to do that. And then, like I say, we have different groups for planning and cleanup sites. We do those. We do cleanups on the rivers. We go out and we look at stream banks and say, hey, yeah, this needs some stabilization. It said, hey, we need to get you with this group, whether it's NRCS or WCRC, Washington County Conservation Group. We put that together, and so we have actually became from just a one-person committee. There's 20 individuals on the board to where we have 6 or 8 individuals now working for us, and they're spread out, and we get grants to go out and implement these different programs and to monitor and see and get feedback. And as time goes on, individuals come up with more and more ideas, and hey, if it works, we use it. And then so far, our group is growing and we're getting more and more interest. Of course, the dynamics and the demographics of northwest Arkansas are expanding at the rate that it is. A group like ours, people are always coming to us, whether it's just for a small rain garden next to a building to keep their erosion down, or is it a bigger location? What am I doing? How am I get rid of these invasive species that are letting the ground erode? Then the conclusion of all this, it was money that's been well spent It's well managed by with individuals with not an agenda. They have well-intentioned, objectives and goals and clearly stated to us, and we've reached those. And now we're looking at different areas that, hey, maybe we can get information that we don't have relative to this. And so in the end of this is the money and the efforts and the time of the individuals that has been presented and put to this program has been extremely beneficial. Everyone I've talked to has come back and said, wow, we didn't know we had those. We have gathered and accumulated knowledge that we did not have before, and that we can say now, hey, we know this to be the case. Maybe exceptions, but this is still going to be the case. Instead of guesstimations, we actually have real numbers now that we can fall back on and say, hey, somebody asked something, this is what you can expect.